Hi, everyone. This is Jude Scally. I am the ISS for Information Centers at headquarters. And today I want to share with you the Gale databases for social studies. Now, I hope that your information specialist has already shared this information, but I thought I would go back and make sure you know how to access it and where you can find it. Each, each school may have a different access point, so I'm just going to go over those with you today. Um, There is a Gale support portal that lists all the schools, and you can find your school and click on your school's portal and go right in there. Um, each school has a library services page, and if you go on that, there's a list of those, and it says Gale databases, and you can click on that and get to all the Gale databases. And then some schools have actually set up portals to the Gale databases in Mac and VIA. So whatever method your local school uses, you can access those databases that way. So I'm going to come back and I'm just going to go to this library bomb holders um, library services page and come down to where it says Gale database. And I'm going to click on that link. And this brings us to Gale's Gale's landing page or Baumholder's landing page. And on this page is a list of all the databases available through Gale that you might find useful. Today, I'm going to concentrate on ones that deal with professional learning on your part and social studies. So let's start with a basic. Let's start with a news database, and that is our news database right here. And this database has Washington Post, New York Times, and other news sources. So that's the main focus of this database. If you want to see a list of those or do a search for specific ones, you can come to publication search and list all the publications, and you can see what is available. Now, we purposely asked for foreign language publications in here. So if you are looking for local news, there are some in the actual language of the different country, and then there are countries of publications, but the newspapers are in English. So that is news. It's updated pretty much daily, and I'm not going to say hourly, but pretty frequently. If you're looking for the newest United States publication for like the Washington Post, like today's newspaper, for those overseas, it's probably going to be at least a day behind because of just the way that time zones work. For those in the United States, it's probably going to be like mid morning before they have the new one up. So that's the news database. Another one I want to call your attention to are these Gale in context. Now, the in context databases are really aimed at middle school, high school students. They were created specifically for those students, and they are set up kind of like textbooks. So let's look at the U.S. history one. And so when you come in, you have this main landing page, and then you have a topic of interest. And then underneath, you can browse topics. And we're going to browse topics today. If you want to search for a particular topic, you can do that right at the front. But we're going to come down and browse topics because I want to show you how they organize their information. So let's look at child labor. Let's just choose that one. And so they really curate these articles. At the top, they give an overview of the topic. And this is all Gale created content. Gale is a publishing house as well as an online database resource. So they create content in addition to becoming an aggregator, which means pulling contents in from different sources. And then there are feature contents. And then they just break that down by type. Academic journals, what their feature content is it, and if you look at it, you can see the Lexile number and the readability level. Some of these are higher, some of them are lower. And then you can just go through and look at all of it. And as you can see, like there's audio, there's legal, there are magazines. You can talk about the difference between what a magazine is and an academic journal. They have primary sources, and most of the time, their primary sources are either a picture of the primary source and or like the Gazette, probably a text version of the original article. So that's U.S. history. There are lots of topics that they've done a curation on. And so if you click on where it says browse topics, you can kind of see them all. I want to open up one more time, and I just want to show you something that you can do with this. Okay, so at this point, let's assume you're out of school, or you're out of the physical school, you're doing digital learning, and you're working with your social studies students to learn about the Great Society. Now, if I have this article, I'm going to click where it says read more. There's several things I can do with this very easily. You can very easily download this into your Google Drive and share it with your students if you don't want to have them go get it themselves. You can also send them a permanent link to this article. So if I click on Get Link, that is the permanent link. So if you share that with your students, they will always come back to this article. You can have your kids highlight and take notes reading this article. And I think this is a really cool feature. So if I'm reading and I'm not paying attention to what I'm reading, I'm just showing you how this works, I'm going to highlight that. I think that's kind of important. So I highlighted that sentence, and I'm going to come where it says highlight and highlight that. And then I'm going to make a note about this. And I'm going to say save. I can highlight in different colors. And think about this. You could have your students read the same article, or do an assignment together, and one student can highlight in one color, another student can highlight in another color, and they both can take notes. Now, when they're done, I can come up to where it says highlights and notes, and I'm going to click where it says view all. And there are my notes that I took. I can then download that information or send or email it. I can download it to my Google Drive, or I can email it out to through email and different things. So there's lots of things you can do with this. Now, the beauty of the Gale products, they all look pretty much the same, so that when you go into the product, the student is not relearning how to use the product. That skill set is transferable. So I just went into Gale and Context World History, and as you can see, it's pretty much set up the same way. Now, there are other databases that are available, and those are the Gale 1 files. Now, the Gale 1 files are a little higher materials. They are aimed at specific high school and some university students. The Gale academic files are a little higher. So if you're at a high school and you're teaching AP classes, these are the ones I would go in and look at. I'm showing you the whole variety of things that we have. If you are teaching economics, you probably want to take a look at Business Insights Global. These are actual business case studies that are available online. So these are some interesting things in there for you. Now, the last thing I want to show you are the professional materials. And I'm going to click on professional. Actually, I'm going to show you two more things. I apologize. These are some of our professional resources. There is an ASCD collection of ebooks, and then there's Gale's one file educational resources. And this is where you can go in and search for professional magazines. There, if you like to read about your specialized topic, if there's a social studies professional magazine, we probably can get it. So for example, for school librarians, School Library Journal is part of this collection. Again, it's set up the same way. You come up and you do a search and then click a search and you can get to the information. The other thing I want to show you are the ebooks. Gale we have a pretty extensive collection of ebooks, and this is where I would say we have back titles to ebooks, where there are some older copyrights in here that might not be on your shelves, but because they're digital and not taking up space and they don't get dusty, this is where some of those things are found. So I'm just going to browse. I'm going to click on social studies. And you can see some of the titles. Some of the digital career things are a little older. The history, I think, are some of our best things. There are a lot of these UXL encyclopedias that are really aimed at middle school students. There are some really comprehensive reference materials in these Gale ebooks that you might find useful. Now, these Gale ebooks are multi-access and multi-use, so multiple students can access them. You can download the content. You can use it in a variety of ways as long as it's in an instructional practice. You can't download it, put it into your work and try to make money off of it, just like any other instructional. But if you want to download it and have the kids read it, take notes on it, you can do that. And with most of these things, you can only download like a chapter at a time. You can't download the whole book. You can also go in and open it up and send students to particular pages or particular chapters. Now you can look at this in two ways. You can go in and look at it. Let's just go into this. You can go in and look at it like a text file, which is you're reading it online. And when you're in a text file, you can highlight and take notes just like you can do with any other article. If you look at it in a book view, it looks like what you would be reading if you had the print copy. Now, there are some limitations to this. You can't take notes on this view, but you can download it. So there are some, I like reading it in the PDF form because I'm just more comfortable with that. But there are some limitations depending on what form you're using and what view you're looking. Now, the other nice thing is you can do the permanent link again, grab that permanent link and then send it out to your students and they can use it that way. These are just some of the things you can do with these Gale ebooks and Gale resources. I'm just quickly going over. What we would like you to do is go in and take a harder look, or even better, get some time to sit down with your information specialist and look at these together. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and thank you for your time.